What's good, peeps? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house, back in the saddle, one more again with some content. Boy, I know y'all was watching the game tonight and saw what I saw, and I know it don't mean, what, you know, it's supposed to mean because we got, an early exit, but it was a sort of a bittersweet thing with the, if I gotta have the Cowboys miss the playoffs on a 1% chance and have the Eagles lose the number one seed, man, I'm taking that, man. I'm taking that every time. But that means that the night's game, man, we playing for pride, we playing for dignity, we playing for grit, we playing for respect, maybe playing for keep our head coach's job. However you feel about that. Uh, hey man, the Cowboys answered the bell. Now we're gonna talk about the game, all the things that took place in the game, how I saw it, and let me turn this TV down, man, so y'all can actually hear, brother. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna talk about that. Some of the game balls, man, game balls was going all around today. So we're gonna talk about that, the game balls, what this game means, why you shouldn't be mad about this game, and then what message does this send to the front office? Because I got some strong messages. I got some strong opinions on that. We're gonna talk about that here in just a minute, man. Y'all hang with your boy.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
What's good, people? Again, it's your boy, Uncle Fred. Uncle Fred's Rants. Welcome to Uncle Fred's Rants. It is Sunday, December the 22nd, year of our Lord 2024. Cowboys just wrapped up a Sunday night football 26-24 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who was fighting and scrapping, kicking, biting, and trying to get into the playoffs, which they may get in there. They not getting in there on our watch. Get our second win of the year on our home court, on our home field. May have played one of our best offenses that we've played. Other than Detroit and those teams in San Francisco and what have you. But and we get the dub. We're going to tell y'all all about it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you watch the video, I know a lot of people going to be watching the nigga, but whatever. Hit the like button if you view the video, please. It's just like, it don't take nothing more than a click, 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 click. That's all it takes. Don't cost you nothing. Just hit the like button. That's just, let's go on and talk about this thing. So, first of all, the game, for around, I guess around, I don't know, about like 3:15 today, we got the news. Jaden Daniels came down, hit my man Jamison Crowder back of the end zone, touchdown, and the Commanders upset the Eagles I think I want to say it was 33-28. That's what I want to say that it was. Um, Jaden Daniels threw 5 touchdown passes in that game, man. Playing a whale of a game. And we got to see him in a couple of weeks, man. He got to come back to AT&T. But hey, they playing for their playoff lives. I know Jalen Hurts got hit and had a concussion, didn't return to the game. They were going with a Kenny Pickett. They turned the ball over 5 times and they still won the game. So I don't know what that said. We got to play the Eagles next week, probably without Jalen Hurts. You know, roll that same defense we rolled out there tonight, and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna just see, because I don't know that he can do what Baker was able to do tonight. And we still was able to get whatever. Let's just talk about the thing. So we know that meant that the Commanders got a playoff spot and they got their 10th win, so that it totally eliminated us from playoff consideration. We only had a 1% chance anyway, and the Rams are playing well, the Seahawks are playing well, and all those things is going well or whatever. We weren't probably not gonna get it in if we weren't watching the Rams play. The Rams have won 8 out of 10 of their last 10 games. They probably gonna get one of them playoff spots. And whatever they don't get, Seattle's probably getting. So we probably weren't gonna get the playoff spot anyway. So if we weren't gonna get it anyway, what better thing than kind of throw a little cross body block into the Eagles' plans? Hey, I'll take that in because I'm like Micah. I'm like the Eagles, and I'm not gonna say that on the air. Uncle Fred don't do that. Don't do that. Let's talk about the game. So that meant when the game got kicked off, it was for pride, it was for dignity, it's for protecting our home field, which we have not been able to do all season. I think we were 1-7, 1-6, 1-7. And the last time we were there, man, it was a crusher, man. That Mari Oriarie, who made a couple of plays tonight, wasn't too cool with, but it's okay. It's okay. And we could have won that game. Right now we'd be looking at 8-7 right now, and right in the midst of things right now. But hey, man. So the game got kicked off, and so we took the ball first, and I'm like, cool. But a lot of times we get the ball first, we go 3 and out. Wasn't the case tonight. Took the ball first, went down the field, a lot of short passes. It was the interesting thing tonight because we weren't. I think because of what was going on with and I'm looking because I couldn't get the stats on my thing because I think because the game was still kind of fresh or whatever. We only had 31 yards rushing on 20 attempts. Okay. Right. I think they knew coming in there we needed to have a good amount of attempts, but we knew we weren't going to be successful as successful as we have been in previous weeks, due to that big dude number 50 that played for Tampa Bay. His name is Vita Vea. Yeah, that's a big old boy, man, and just it takes a couple of dudes to keep him, from making plays and holding him, back. You saw that play he made with a Cavante Turpin. He basically he laid him down kind of easy. He's like, dude, that dude could probably pick him up with 2 fingers. He's probably half his body weight. Probably what is Cavante like 153? Vita Vea like 360, right? Uh, so we knew we weren't gonna be able to run the ball. So on our first drive, I'm gonna pull it up over here. I'm gonna change here. Bum, 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 bum. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, let's go with this right here. Yeah, that's gonna be it right there. Let's go with this one. Let's share that. All right. All right. So We get the ball and we drive 10 plays. We only drive 30 yards. I'm gonna kind of put that up here so you can see me and see it too. We went 10 plays and went 30 yards, a lot of little short dinking dunking passes, couple of 4 yard passes to CD Land because the Tampa Bay is playing a shallow zone and was giving us that, basically saying, yeah, we're not gonna let you run it, but you can get these 4 5 yards. So we're getting 4, we're getting 3, we're getting 2 first down, we're getting 5, we're getting 2, we're getting 2 first down. We was doing that and we got it all the way down to like the 41-yard line, and we started bring on Aubrey, and he kicked a 58-yard field goal, and just like that, it's 3-0. Okay, now Tampa Bay gets the ball, and they get a first down or two, and then we get them off the field, which good because they I think they had a drop pass in the middle of the field. I want to say it was Sterling Shepard, and we get the ball back, and what do you know? We go 5 plays, 52 yards, touchdown. Complete pass in the middle. Jalen Tolbert on like second down and I think it was like second down and 8, I guess, from the 11 or whatever. And we get a touchdown. It's 10-0. And of course, from that point on, the Buccaneers never led in this game. It was 10-0. Then it was 10-7. Then it was 13-7. Then it was uh, 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 13 7. Then it was, I think that was what it was at halftime. Then it was 13-10. Then it was 16. Then it went on from there. Right. Um, I'm looking at my stuff here. So it goes on. Let me change this back here. All right. So it was 10-0. Then it was 10-7. Then it was 13-7. We go 5 plays, 39 yards, 49-yard kick by Aubrey. Aubrey done kicked like 7 or 8 50-yard field goals today. I mean, this year. I mean, so he's been one of our best offensive players besides CeeDee Lamb. And then they get a touchdown. No. We go 80 yards in 9 plays, and capped off by I want to say it was like a 50-yard completion to CeeDee Lamb, and I thought he scored, but it won't. And he got slammed down hard at the 1 foot yard. I thought he was in the end zone, but whatever, man. And Ezekiel Elliott comes in. I mean, I would have thought they'd have put Rico Dowdle in there, let him get another touchdown because he only got 1 touchdown. But whatever, man. And it's 20-7. Of course, now, and then of course, Tampa Bay comes right back, goes 7 plays, 71 yards, touchdown, 7-yard completion, 11-yard completion to Jalen McMillan, touchdowns 14, 20-14, and then of course we get it again, and we go 30 yards on 6 plays. We get another 58-yard field goal by Brandon Aubrey, makes it 23-14. And I thought that was important that we kept it at a two possession lead. I thought that was important. And then we had a turnover. One of the plays where the Baker was trying to be greedy. He's trying to throw it deep to, I think the guy's name is Miller. Throw it down the middle. It was either him or McMillan, and Jordan Lewis just took that thing away from him, and that allowed us to get a field goal that made it 26-14. And then Buccaneers come down and get a field goal, go 43 yards, and it made 26-17. And then of course now that's when the game started getting real because inside the last couple of minutes, a couple of dicey things took place. We had a first down on our own, like 20, 25-yard line. And I mean, Cooper Rush, who played a sterling game, he's going to get one of my game balls for the day. He threw a ball that almost got picked. And and then, of course, we left like 10 seconds on the play clock on that particular play. And we had to kick it back off to them. And, of course, Tampa Bay takes the ball. They go 9 plays, 87 yards, get a touchdown. And made it 26-24, and of course now they're playing some tricks with the. Now I will say something about. I'm gonna talk about that later because I thought the refs did some stuff to us on. I think it was that possession or the possession before that made us have to get the ball up because I thought they called two bogus holding calls. Um, one on. I'm gonna let you so you can see me. One on uh, Tyler Smith that was that wasn't holding, and one on Brock Hoffman, and where he put his hands up. That to me, those aren't holdings. To me, I got problems with those. I'm gonna talk about that later because I thought I saw Micah get held like that on several occasions in the game. Guys got their hands up around his neck like that, and it's not being called. Now we got a couple of holding calls in the game, but the two holding calls that they called there that kept us from because I thought we was gonna get first downs and able to extend drives and stuff like that, and probably could have made it where Tampa Bay wouldn't even have gotten within 2 points. For the most part of this game, the Cowboys held a two possession lead most of this game because, like I said, it was 13-7, then it was 20-7, and then 20-14, and 23-14, and 26-14, and like that, and then of course they made a little run down the stretch, but we made two big plays to keep them off of us. The interception by Jordan Lewis, okay, and then the takeaway by Deron Bland. Both them dudes getting game balls for me at the end of the play, around 150 left in the game. Little, Baker Mayfield trying to be a hero because he was being sacked, he was being brought down, but I gotta make a play, and I'm gonna flip it out there to Rashawn White, and he gonna do his thing, and of course, and Bland saw the ball coming out, poked that ball out, and it got picked up by I want to say it was Nick Vigil. I know Vic Vigil had another fumble recovery, but he wasn't able to secure it. That was early in the game on another sack by that Baker Mayfield suffered. I think they ended up sacking him like 4 times for 26 yards. That made it like third down and 40. But we was able to get pressure on them. There was a couple times I thought Baker escaped the pocket where our guys weren't able to once you break the get into you got to be able to get off your blocks and get a hold of the quarterback. I didn't think they did that, well, because Baker Mayfield was able to rush for I'll tell you right here. He was able to rush for, I want to say like 50 yards. But I'll tell you right now how much he rushed for. Yeah, Baker Mayfield rushed for, 42, 3 times for 42. I said 50, it was 42. And so Bucky Irvin was 16 for 68. He had some nice runs. Rashad White, 3 for 10. He had some nice catches and stuff like that. But that fumble strip of Rashad White preserved the win, and we was able to get out of there with a 26-24 win. And so let me switch this back to the Bing, and we're gonna look at some of the stats. But what I saw in the game tonight, there was a lot of players. Let me get to my let me see here. Let's look at some of the stats for the night here. Here go the box score right here. All right, let's roll this down to here, and then I'm gonna swap it, put myself back on the screen. All right, so no, that gummit. I know I had us on the thing. Now, what are we doing here? All right, yeah, there we go. Now, see, it locks it in. When I put myself on the screen, it kind of locks it where it said Cooper Rush was 26 out of 35 for 292 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interception. Had 117.18 quarterback rating. Rushing, we didn't do nothing. I think we had 20 carries for like 31 yards. Cavante Turpin had 3 for 11. Ezekiel Elliott 1 for 1. Cooper Rush 3 for -4. Rico Dowdle 13 for 23. So we really didn't do a whole lot running the football tonight. And like I said, And this is something I'm going to talk about here is that we usually I usually am a little critical of Mike McCarthy and some of his game planning because sometimes I feel like he gets a little pass happy. Let's go back. Let's stop sharing. Let's go back to my screen here. So I get sometimes I'm a little leery of his uh, play calling because sometimes he throws it a little too much, and I think sometimes that gets us in trouble, especially when it's times when we're trying to uh, burn clock or we know we're kind of limited offensively. Certain ways we got to win. We got to win the football game. We can't win a shootout with Cooper Rush, and then the limited amount of weapons we got. I mean, we basically got one weapon. Rico Dowdle is trying to find himself. CeeDee Lamb was a bona fide star. Let me look at that, man. CeeDee Lamb had 7 catches for 105 yards with a 52-yarder. That's the one I told you about earlier. Rico Dowdle had 3 for 28. Brandon Cooks 3 for 40. He had a nice 29-yard completion on a little over route. And I'm kind of miffed a little bit about that because you never see any of those routes when Dak was playing, when we still could make the playoffs, when we still had all of our players, and when we still, you saw Brandon Cooks on the zone coverage. You saw him run to the sticks and turn around. You never saw him running crossers or over routes or any of those. You never saw him run any of those things. And so I still believe Brandon Cooks is a viable receiver in this league. It's just a matter of it's how you utilize him, and I mean why you want to break out your more creative pass plays. With Cooper Rush, and you running the basics with Dak Prescott. I'm not trying to say that I'm just saying when you see that and you see what they were running earlier in the season, bunch of deep comeback routes, stick routes, run to the first down marker and turn around. And that's all we ran, and I know one of the content guys, attack on Cowboys used to be called Dak Attack. Very edgy Cowboy content creator. I look at a lot of those dudes. But he had a little film breakdown, and it was I want to say it was the game against the 49ers where he chronicled from the 22 view about 9 or 10 consecutive plays over 2 or 3 possessions, and he was like, "Show me where Dak was going to throw the ball here." Oh yeah, he's throwing the ball in the double coverage. Yeah, because the guy ran to where the defender's at and turns around and hey, I'm open, but you're not open. And he really didn't have anywhere to throw the ball. It's but you can't take a sack on 6 consecutive plays. So where are you going to throw the football to? So you just run to to the thing, to the boundary, and then turn around. And there was 8, 9 consecutive plays, that happened over 3 possessions, and you know, I mean, so at some point, man, you got to call better plays. You got to run better routes. And I saw a lot of times, I mean, like that one deep one that CD ran. I never saw those routes ran for Dak when he was in there. There was a lot of these little short routes, and you got to break 5, 6 tackles and get the first down. That kind of thing. So you know, if that's we figured some things out as the season go on, fine. If you're just oh, we're gonna save the best plays for him because I got to cry foul on that, But anywho, I thought with the Knights game, I thought it was a very as that my thumbnail said, we get a defining win. I thought was very defining. I thought it was a gut check win. I thought it was a character defining win because you could have easily just tucked tail and laid down. And a lot of our hashtag Team Tank fan base would have liked for us to um, have you know not even played CD. Hey man, we ain't got no playoff hopes. Let's just sit CD. And I think CD wanted to get. Water tastes kind of good tonight. I think he wanted to get his 100 catches. I think he's got like 103 catches, which I think he's done that in like back to back to back seasons. I don't know if anybody's ever done that in the history of the Cowboys, because he had 107 year before last, 135 last year. He's got like 105, 104, I think now, or something like that. So he's got like 100 catches and like over 1,200 yards and like 6 touchdowns this year. So I mean, he's battling injuries. He had that shoulder injury, I think, in the Falcons game. That was games ago. That was when Dak was still playing. And he was able to do some things, right? So, but anyway, yeah, CD. Let's look at some game balls, because I know it was a couple of things. I saw Donovan Wilson make some plays. I saw. Let me go to my game balls, man, and so let's get down to here. Um, and then these are some of my talking points about the game. And so, you gonna show the thing? Okay, here we go. Um, I thought they showed a ton of grit, toughness, and pride. I thought they played a tough game tonight. I still, well, I'll get to that later. Um, the game didn't mean anything. After about 3:15, or 3:30 or whatever, and a lot of the vets could have sat down. Micah could have said, "You know what, I'm gonna hang it up." But I think Micah, it's a stat that I heard, man. I got it from Cowboy Fan Talk. Shout out to Mr. Rome, because he brought up a stat. And he said, since Micah's been back, the Cowboys lead the NFL in sacks with 22. And I'm like, did not know that. Did not know that. And we got, I want to say, what was it? What was the total tonight? And I'm looking at my stat sheet, and then, like I said, I had problems getting the stats off of the internet, and I had to get them off of my ESPN app on my phone. But sacks, yeah, we got 4 sacks for 27 yards. So that would be 26 sacks we've had since Micah's been back, and like over like 130 some odd pressures in like 6 games or whatever that he's been back. Okay. Um, and I know some people don't value the pressures. I mean, the pressures are one thing, because pressure is not a sack, but a pressure can make you throw a pick. A pressure can make you throw the ball early and before a guy comes out of his break and it's an incompletion. A pressure can make you throw it in a double coverage, can make you miss a guy because you don't have time to set your feet. Pressures do. And I know Attack on Cowboys was saying he thought the pressure, chronicling pressures is like a loser stat. I'm like, chronicle the sacks, but pressures. I know you didn't get there, but sometimes you get there, you make that guy, speed his clock up. You can make him do something. And you know, they didn't get a sack on that last play, but that rushed on Baker Mayfield kind of rushed and made him rushed and flipped that ball out there to Rashad White, which caused it was one of them desperation scramble drill plays, right? And it kind of broke down the fundamentals of the play. So sometimes a pressure, no, you didn't get to him, but it does something. So I'm not gonna say a pressure is everything a sack is, because a sack sometimes gets you off the field. Because I know we had a pressure earlier in the game and made it, and that's on the hit that Donovan Wilson put on to Mike Evans. I don't think Mike Evans came back in the game after that either. Mike Evans had some nice catches, but man, Deron Bland was covering him good today. I shout out to Deron Bland, gutting it out, man. I know he's like 3 or 4 games back, man. Missed 10 games with that stress fracture in his foot. and he said it best. He said, "Man, I know what Mike Evans has done in his league and what he's done. He's a gold jacket wearer. This guy's got 8 or 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's got 100 touchdowns. He's got a Super Bowl championship. He's a Hall of Famer. 5 years after he hangs his cleats up, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Mike Evans is one of them dudes. He's like that, right?" And I thought Deron Bland had a reputable showing of himself as one of the up and coming young corners in this game. With the season he had last year and then kind of overcoming the injuries he had this year, I thought he had an admirable game against him. Had some nice pass breakups. But that hit that Donovan Wilson put on him on the sideline, now there was a pressure involved in that. And if we'd got the sack, we'd probably get them out of, but the very next play, they get a long completion on a screen play, which we had problems covering, and they got the first down. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? So that's all I'm saying. But yeah, we got four. I don't know how many pressures we got, but I know we got home 4 times. And maybe if Baker Mayfield takes that sack, because it was still like a minute left in the game, a minute and some change left in the game, you get up, you clock it, and then you still get your, whatever, but you end up getting a turnover and the ball game's over, you know. But I saw a hit there, and a fumble recovery on there. I saw hits earlier on Baker Mayfield where he got strip sacked. I'm not sure. I want to say it was Digazua who had a great game also. That also, man, that dude in his contract, man, we might have to pay that dude. And I know what Steven was saying, the thing, but see, when we play draft and develop game like we play, you get to a guy like Idigazua who may never, be a Pro Bowler, right? But he's a good rotational 3-tech pass rusher. And those guys are very valuable in today's NFL. And it's a kind of guy that, yeah, he may get to the end of this season and somebody might offer him a 13, 14 million a year deal, maybe a 4-year, 60 million deal. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Because he's good. I mean, and you might get a guy in the draft and he might not, and you got to get him to the level where Idigazua is already at. And, that might take a couple of seasons. So you're kind of starting over. So, and so, or you may go get a guy in free agency and you might have to pay a guy more than what you was going to pay Idigazua. And he knows your system, knows the climate. Because sometimes it's culture shock when guys come to the Cowboy, come to the Star, because it ain't run like other teams is run. And sometimes it takes guys a while, like, oh, y'all do that here? I ain't never seen it. That's why we don't do a lot of free agents, because sometimes the culture shock sometimes is a little big. Culture shock is a little, a little bit, what's going on, Max? I see you. See you here, man. Yeah, a little too late. But look here, man. I'm not upset about the too little too late, man, because we had injuries. You could probably go back to the Cincy game and you say we make a couple of plays here. I mean, I know everybody jumps on Amari Ariarie, if he just gets away from that, we may get the ball and we may make a couple of plays and we get a field goal and we win that game. Uh, I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that we ran the ball for like 150 yards, and I know Rico Dowdle only had like 18 carries, and I know we made Cooper and I know Cincy's defense was not Tampa's defense. Cincy don't have a Vita Vea and a Levante David. I mean, they got was it Hubbard and Hutchinson. They got them two dudes. But in terms of run stuffing, they don't have nobody like Vita Vea. And we was able to run the ball at will. And I thought that we lost the time of possession battle against Cincy. And that's why we really lost the game. Yeah, you can go to that one play, but I always say a lot of times games don't always come down to just one play. It's the little plays you make, throughout the game. It's like if we'd have lost the Knights game, I wasn't gonna go with Cooper Rush let 10 seconds, still left on the play clock and threw an incomplete pass that almost got picked as while we lost. I would look at those third downs that we couldn't get off the field and let them get first downs, some screen passes that we could never cover. We could never, fill the gaps and get in there and get those plays. And sometimes it's the routine plays you make throughout the game that's why you lose the game. It ain't the one play at the end. Yeah, that play, if you make that play, you might win it. But if you made these 15 other plays throughout the game, then maybe it might not come down to that play. That's the way I see the game. That's just how I see it. Maybe I see it more than other folks do. But yeah, Cowboys did look good. It's a little too late, but look, man, maybe after this game, look, man, I want us to go in and do what we got to do to maybe make sure the Eagles don't get first round. Don't get home field advantage. Because I think we could beat them. Jalen's not playing, and I think we could rattle Kenny Pickett like we, kind of, did tonight. And I think we can do the same thing. Uh, uh, so, I think we could do that, and then we could, play Trey Lance, play some of the young dudes in the season finale against the Commanders. Because at that point, man, what do we did? Because we can get the Eagles out the way and kind of derail their season a little bit. That's almost like, I know that's like, messy and petty, but yeah, I'd love to kind of like upset their apple cart just a little bit. Those are little victories that we have. So yeah, I would like for us to go in there and go all out and try to get them next week, at the link, and then make them have 4 losses, and then make it where they gotta go on the road on one of these games, either against Detroit or against Minnesota or against of course Minnesota might one of those teams is going to win the division, obviously, and so that will be what we would do there. So but the Washington Redskins bum the boys third place. Yeah, we third place. That's fine though. But right now, I will say this though. Right now, I think we're playing some of the best football in the league right now. And I know it's not going to accumulate itself or be, it's not going to accomplish anything, because after 2 weeks from today, man, people, the guys going to be bringing them big glad bags into the locker room and cleaning their lockers out, right? And the season's going to be over with, right? And then we got some decisions to make after that's over with, right? But I'm not one of those guys that just like to see teams lay down. I don't like that. I guess maybe because I'm a Gen X baby boomer, cusp individual. I don't like laying down. I'm like, no, I'm gonna fight you. We supposed to be competing. I'm competing. If we keeping scored, I'm trying to score. I'm never gonna not try to score or try to win, because I just think that just sets a bad precedent. I think once you start letting that evil into the room, then you start letting other things in there, because it's like, oh, you got it in you to not try. So who's to say that maybe you could be had to make you convinced to not try hard on another play, you know that could have, I'm just saying, I just don't like not trying. I just feel like that, we know our team is not as talented as it has been in years past. They chose not to replenish the stock. They chose to let 10 free agents leave the building and replace them with 2, with Zeke and uh, um, Kendricks, who did not play tonight. In fact, he's suffering from a calf injury. Um, so you knew we would be scuffling to win games. And then of course, you throw in the fact you got a new defensive coordinator, you got, you didn't really upgrade the talent roster. You chose to try to uh, blow this season up to retool, which I told you I don't like, because I feel like, who are you to feel like you could step out of line? There's a procession in this line of teams that are playoff contenders, and I felt like we were one of those teams. And I know Jerry likes to talk about we want to stay above on the rim, and I agree that you need to kind of stay on the rim. But while you're on the rim, I'd like to push it on over the top while you're there, not just be happy to be there, not just be happy to sit on the rim, but be happy to go through the net. Try to do all you can do to go through the net. And I feel like if you jump out of line, somebody else takes your place. And sometimes you don't get that place back. So, because I feel like when we lost our place by them choosing to not be as competitive this year, you basically gave the green light for Washington to take our spot. Because they make no mistake about it, they have our spot. Make no mistake about it, they've got our spot. They do. The spot we would have, if we had made just modest improvements. I mean, get one free agent on the defensive line to help Mozzie. Get one weapon to go opposite CeeDee Lamb, so that you're not expecting all this from Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brooks and whatnot. You know, maybe one running back. Maybe you could have drafted a running back. In the fourth round. Or the one. Well, we didn't have a fourth round pick. Whatever. You know, maybe that would have resulted in us maybe having two, maybe three more wins. And instead of being, what are we, 7-8? Maybe we're 10-5 right now. Lo and behold, ain't that the record that the Washington Commanders have right now? Aren't they 10-5? What I'm saying. How many of them games was like maybe a one or two plays away? The Cincinnati game, one or two plays here or there. We could have won that one, right? The Atlanta game. I know we got dominated early and Dak was still in that game. And, maybe, we really could have won that game. That game, they didn't run away and hide from us. We could have won that game. The San Francisco game. That game was a 6-point game. We got the ball with 4 minutes and they ran 3 straight vertical pass plays that didn't have a chance of being completed. We could have won that game. Those 3 games right there, if we make a couple of modest free agent moves, nobody's talking about giving some free agent a $60, $70 million contract. I'm just saying a couple of modest moves. Maybe go get Joe Mixon instead of letting the Texans get him. I think our running game would have been spectacular. And you could have had Mixon and Rico Dowdle kind of going back and forth. I think that would have been fine. I think had you got a defensive lineman, maybe you could have got you a Daniil Hunter, and one of them guys, just one free agent move. I think that the season would have been a little different. Hey, maybe if you keep Stephon Gilmore, maybe you don't have to start the season with Carson as a rookie, which would allow him to start at the opposite corner to Diggs, and maybe you could have won some of them earlier games, and made it where maybe you wouldn't have had to play Diggs as much as you played him. See, those things are all domino effects, But by you completely punting on the season, and then you get to the end, like, dang, if I'd have tried a little harder here, dang, what we could have been had we tried just a little bit, just a wee bit, There was linebackers to be had too, Um, Al Shears, from the Houston Texans. I know that dude got suspended, but that dude believes in laying the wood on for folks. Okay, what's that dude that the Vikings got? Von Schnickel, I think that's his name. They got him from the Dolphins. I mean, there's linebackers we could have had. Bobby Wagner, I think he got like a $5 million contract. Dude, that made big investments, you know. And then you still draft, uh, you still draft Leofau. You still got Overshown coming back. Maybe if your linebacker core was a little deeper, maybe you're not playing Overshown as much as he is. Maybe he's not exerting himself as much as he is because he gets banged up in a lot because how he plays. You know, so we 7-8, and it's like, man, we could easily go and be 8-9 or 9-8 this season. And it's like, man, and we tried just a little bit, maybe we make the playoffs. Okay. And maybe we don't want to we don't want to make the playoffs and lose. Yeah, but I know Jerry like money. You do get that playoff bonus. You do get that TV money from the playoff. AT&T is going to be vacant that, where it's supposed to be playoff games being played. Now, I know a lot of them people have bought tickets for that because you buy them tickets in your season ticket package. But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm not gonna get. But anyway, let's get back to yeah, Max, you're right. When Dallas let all those free agents walk away, that killed the run. That killed the run game. Killed Zeke. Killed a lot of drives. Look, man, that I think that Zeke thing. Look, man, don't get me wrong. I got a lot of respect for Zeke, and I love and I respect all that he's done for the Cowboys. He got like 85 rushing touchdowns. Man, I ain't gonna never sneeze at that. Um, you know, but at this point in his career, I think they were asking him to do more than what he's capable of doing. And I think they were just banking on the notoriety of Zeke and selling some of them 15 jerseys more than what he could contribute on the football field. Putting him in there after the game that Rico Dowdle had against the Steelers, and then all of a sudden you're gonna give Zeke the game and make Rico be sick. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? But yeah, but so uh, yeah, Max, we that is the thing. Oh, Rolling. Okay, that's okay. I didn't know that was you, man. Because it's okay, okay. I did not know. I did not know. I did not know. Uh, so you had us at 9-8. When sometimes we end up being 9-8. We might end up being 9-8. We'd have to win my last two games. It's looking more to me like more like 8-9 because I think we got if we play. It's all depending on how when we know we're not making the playoffs, how the front office chooses to play the rest of the season. Because I do realize that if now I'm gonna say this, I want y'all to go. I'm not gonna pull it up, but I will urge you guys to go look up a video that Vosh Lombardi did with Brian Broaddus. It was last week. And if I'd have thought about it, I'd have pulled it up so I could have, shared the screen and whatnot. I guess I could do that, but I don't want to drag the video on too long. But it was something that Brian Broaddus said. It's I think Cowboys. It's about what we needed to do for the Tampa Bay game, but it's also talking about the Cowboys culture. I can't remember what the video was called. But in that video, when he was asked what he thought the Cowboys needed to do from a coaching or strategy perspective, that's what Vosh was asking it from. That's what he asked. But Broaddus said, I think we need to hire a real GM. And I'm like, that ain't what he asked him. But he was like, oh, let me hear more what you said. And he's like, no, because what a real GM does, he's not trying to sell tickets. He's not trying to open stadiums, and he's not trying to, do mud racing and all that, and being at all these other events and signings and stuff. No, he's eat, sleep, drinking football. He's knowing what the other roster teams got, who's available on whose team, who can be had, what their price points are. And because when a situation comes up on his team, he said, hey, I know Cincinnati got a guy that'll fit right into that. Let me give them a call. And they may be looking to get rid of that guy. You're supposed to have them guys on speed dial. Every other GM in the NFL does that. Okay. And I'm pretty sure Jerry's not even concerning himself with that kind of stuff, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because what a real GM would be trying to do right now, he probably would be saying, okay, let's play Trey Lance the last two games because we got to see what he's gonna do because we got to make decisions of whether we're gonna keep him and try to work out some sort of deal with him as our backup, our number two, as potentially a eventual starter because he's what is he 23? You know, because you gave up a fourth round pick for him. So you know, and being what we consider a draft and develop team that we are, dude, we can't go throwing fourth round picks in the fire and burning. That's like burning money. You know, I don't care how much money I make. Ain't no way in heck I'm setting fire to a $20 bill. I'm not gonna do it. And just burning a fourth round pick to me is like setting fire to a $20 bill for a lot of us regular folks, you know. Now, I mean, most of you people that watch the videos are regular Joes like me. You know, you go to work every day, you know, put in an honest day's work, you know, for an honest day's living, right? You're not gonna go out and to make a point, set fire to a $20 bill. No, that's bills I can pay with that, you know, with a couple of other one of them, you know. So for them to trying to gain a uh, contractual advantage or whatever the case he might say, trying to say it was a justification for burning that fourth round pick last year or burning a fourth round pick this year on a guy that you know maybe not gonna ever even play because you would have thought it would have maybe have been him, not Flournoy. Flournoy made a couple of nice catches tonight. Okay. I would have thought maybe him instead of Mingo. I mean, Mingo instead of him. But since you gave up a fourth round pick for this guy, you know, but you know, had you maybe given up a fourth round pick for I don't know a Mike Williams, a Devontae, I mean a D Hop, uh, even a Deontay Johnson, you know, who you know got some problems in Baltimore, you know, a guy that can actually help you right now, you know, you might have could have skirted into the playoffs. You might have won some of them games, a couple of those games. You know, who knows? But no, Kate Crowd was spilled milk. What's done is done. We where we are. We're 7-8. We just won a tough, gritty game against a team that's probably going to the playoffs that was trying to win, that wasn't trying to lay the ball down. And I'm not going to even crap on the win last week because I didn't even come on after the Panthers game because I thought maybe the Panthers maybe mailed that one in because we beat them like we beat them. It was 31-14, right? So 30-14 or whatever it was. And so, but you look on the day and the Panthers beat the Cardinals, who are trying to win because they're trying to get into the playoffs as well. So they're trying to win. So they weren't trying to not beat us. It's just that we had a good game plan, and you know, like I said, Rico Dowdle had 149 yards rushing. You know, we played a good game in that game, and we was able to win that. Um, but so we won. You know, we've won what 4 out of 5. You know, you know. So, you know, it is what it is. And I think Max said something here. The Bulls will be playing the AFC West next year. Yeah, because it'd be exactly. Yeah, that's right. Because 22, we played the South. No, 22, we played the West. Or did we? No. No. 22. Who we played 22? Sure, who we played in 22? Who we played in 22? We played somebody in 22. Who we played in 22? No, because because it goes cyclical. You pay because I know we played the AFC uh, um, North this year, and we played the AFC. Yeah, we played the AFC. We played the AFC South in 22. We played the AFC West in 21, the AFC South in 22, the AFC East last year, So yeah, we go back around. We play the AFC West next year. So that means we play Kansas City. But we get them in our building, I believe. We get Kansas City. We get not Seattle. That's another. We get Kansas City. We get uh, the LA Chargers. We get the Denver Broncos, and we get the um, Los Angeles Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. At this point, it was Los Angeles Raiders when we played them last. I don't think they was in Vegas when we played them back in 21. I think they were in Oakland, I think, but we played them at home on Thanksgiving. Um, we'll be playing a third place schedule, so we won't be playing the tough teams, in other conference, whatever. And then on that extra game, we'll probably play. We'll play the third place team in that other, because we play an extra game too for the 17 game schedule. Everything comes out in fours, and then you got 2 games against another division in your conference, and then you got an extra game against a team in the opposite conference, and then every team in your division plays a team in that conference, in that division, based on their rankings the year before. Just like last year, because the Eagles won the division in 22, they played Kansas City. Okay, we played the Chargers. Okay. And so, it kind of works that way. And so this year, we played the Texans, who won the South. The Eagles played the Jaguars, who finished second. So it kind of works like that. So I don't know where it goes next year. So I know in 21 we played the East in the extra game. In 22 we played the North as the extra game. Last year we played the West as the extra game. So I guess this year we'll play the East again as the extra game. So we're in third place. So our third game, our game against the AFC East next year in the extra game will be Jets. Will be the Jets, and the uh, Giants will play the Patriots, and of course the Eagles will play the Bills. And the Commanders will play the Dolphins. So it'll work out like this. That's just interesting looking at how that thing. Big Mike comes back. Yeah, I look, Max. I don't think it's a if. I just think it's a win. Because that was one of the things I was concerned about. You talking about TK? Yeah, I don't know. It's sometimes it's difficult to get him at night, man, because he works in the morning. I don't. I'm actually not working until after New Year, so I'm gonna probably get on here some days and make some videos. Because usually I don't make videos during the day because I'm sleeping because I work at night. So sometimes I get off work and get on here about midnight or 1 o'clock and do a video. People will watch it when they get up the next morning or whatever. Um, but I'm gonna tell you what we thought about doing, Max, and we've given a lot of consideration. We had thought about doing sort of like a low budget. I don't know if you ever seen Nightcap. It's sort of like a thing with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, and where they come on. I'm sure they did one tonight when they probably talking about this game. I guarantee you they did, and that's what we talked about, maybe doing that, and maybe we would do one of those and review the games that we saw and maybe some of the exciting things we saw on that particular week. So that's something we might put together, because I don't know anybody watched our pick'em show that we did yesterday, but we have a lot of fun doing that, man. I wish I could get people to kind of watch that to see some of the analysis, because TK is a very good football analyst. He is excellent, man. I mess with him when I say that, but he is excellent, man, at his football analyst and looking at things from different perspectives and stuff like that. And So that's why I like doing that with him, man. So that's and like I said, we don't get monetized for this. We that's why we're trying to urge people to hit the like button so we can kind of get monetized. More people can see it, more people can get shared to it, and then get the algorithms moved to it, and that way we can at some point get get a little monetization for this, because then that allows you to do some things, allows you to get some capital and resources into the thing, but I just like doing it, because I just like talking football, love talking Cowboy stuff, but I like the NFL as a whole. I'm gonna talk NFL even after the Cowboy season is over with. I'm gonna still do pick'em shows for the playoffs. I'm gonna continue to do that because I like doing it. It's fun. It's fun to do. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So I'm gonna try. We're trying to get that worked up. Trying to get that worked up. So let me get back to my video. One of my points. Uh, Now, one of the good things I said earlier, it was a um, bittersweet thing that we knew we didn't have a chance at the playoffs, but it was good to see the Sheagles get beat. That's almost as good as the Cowboys win. I'm gonna be honest with you. Seeing the Sheagles get they beat, yeah, I like that. I like that. And they apple cart getting upset, I like that. And it's gonna be like a double thing if we able to go in there next week and punch them in the gut. That's that would be almost like us making the playoffs to me. You know, I would love to be able to do that. So yeah, that was bittersweet. That basically we took them beating them for us to not make the playoffs. We'll take that, especially if it was only a 1% chance. But I thought the Cowboys tonight showed a lot of poise. They were very, and I thought they had a good game plan considering the opponent they had. I was very pleased with Cooper Rush outside of that one throw he made in the fourth quarter that liked up been disastrous. But for the most part, look, man, he showed poise. Um, he and I think that might be the best game he's played as a Cowboy. And I know he won some games for us in 22 when Dak was out. He beat the Giants. Um, he beat the Commanders. He beat the Rams. He beat the Bengals. And, in a lot of them games, he had like 130 yards, 140 yards, but he managed the game. We had a good running game going. Defense was playing lights out, and he was able to navigate them wins. I thought the night when we knew we weren't going to have a running game, I thought he made some good decisions. I thought he was poised. I thought he had good decision making. I thought he had some timely throws. I think he threw some balls that gave receivers an opportunity to make plays, like that 52-yarder he threw to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was not open, but he put the ball in an area where CeeDee could go up and get that ball. And see, you only get that with reps with him. And see, if you constantly as a backup, you playing with the backups and you're not getting first team reps and that sort of thing. You only get that when you get reps. And so this is like his fourth game. He knows he kind of getting better each game. He's getting more comfortable each game. So, and see, he's going to go into the game next week against the Eagles. Oh, we're going to have the better quarterback. Cooper Rush is better than Kenny Pickett. That's not make no, Kenny Pickett might have a better upside, but at this stage of their careers, Cooper Rush is a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett. Okay, now Kenny Pickett has a better team around him than Cooper Rush will have, but I think our defense can make him, wet the bed a couple times. I think he gonna get up with some brown sheets. Like, ooh, I messed myself. I think we can do that to him. I really thoroughly think we can do that to him. I think we can make him shit himself. I think we can make him do that. I think some of them double A gap blitzes that we do, we fake it here and the guys come on the edges where he's thinking the pressure's gonna come from here. And he sets the protection here, but psych, we send the guy from the edges and they there before he can get set up. Oh, I think we can do that. Or make him throw it quick and throw it into double coverage. Yeah, I think we can make him do that. Or play it as though we're playing soft, and then the snap of the football, the two guys blitz the daggum double A gap on both sides. Remember, Jason Kelsey not there now. I think we could easily get that game. You know, let's not get that thing twisted. Now I know Saquon Barkley is a dude. I know he's the best running back in the league right now. He's going to end up getting 2,000 yards. But if we know he's going to run the football and we know we ain't got to worry about Kenny Pickett dicing us up, I think we can play that defense a certain way, and I think we can get them. And that would make my week. Getting back to the thing. Here's some of the guys I thought did some good things. Donovan Wilson, he was an animal. You know, I thought he gave up some plays early, but I thought when the game was tight, I thought he came up, and I think he should have had a fumble on a play earlier where he came in and just laid wood on I can't remember who it was, and the ball come out, but I think it might have been Rashad. Was it Rashad White too? It might have been him. I don't know who it was, but the ball came out, but it looked like he was down. Um, Laid the wood on Mike Evans on that sideline play, you know, and came up on some run plays and stuff. I just think that um, Zim uses him in his areas where he's comfortable. You don't really want him covering the deep thirds of the field. He don't have that kind of coverage and range ability to do that. You want him close to the line of scrimmage where he can deliver some, because he hit a couple of dudes, and a couple of them dudes held on to it, but they was going to the sidelines right after that, like, this ain't feeling too good. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell made a house call on you, right? So Donovan Mitchell, I thought, was an animal tonight. I'm gonna go into some other stats here in a minute. Uh, yeah, I thought he was great in the short zones. He's ferocious hittings on pass breakups. He got a strip sack. I thought he set the tone physically for the game. So here's my game balls. I got game balls I'm gonna give out, and I'm gonna get out of here. I didn't mean to be on here an hour, but man, look, man, that was a good win, and man, I got a lot to talk about when we win. Just to get more people get a regular time. Yeah, I think that might be the thing, and I'm gonna have to that's on me. I got to do better. Uh, you know, I gotta be consistent. I think one of the things that I've learned, consistency always is gonna be the thing. Be consistent. You know, as a time when you're gonna do what you do, and sometimes I do it when I can instead of when I should. You know, sometimes life happens and you can't get around to it. But if you want to grow it, you're right. That's how it's got to be. Good comment, Max. Big Mike should call plays for Dak like he did for Cool. Yeah, I thought so. I thought sometimes they were like, oh, okay, Dak, just save us. Let's just go out there. I'm like, dude, just call the same game plan. You know, run the ball some. Call some of that stuff for him too. Because like I say, I like Dak, but I know Dak ain't Patrick Mahomes. You got to understand what your quarterback is and then build your team around what he is, right? Let me give you an example. Detroit Lions didn't build their team around Jared Goff the way the Chiefs did Patrick Mahomes, but I think they're on the same level of teams. But I would say I think the Lions got more talent than the Chiefs do. But the Chiefs don't have to have as much talent because they got him. Okay. But Jared Goff, a little bit less than him. You put a little more talent around him. That makes that even when they play each other. Okay. That's the point. Same thing when they played the 49ers in the Super Bowl last year. Yeah, but Brock Purdy is not on the same level with Patrick Mahomes. But look at the team that John Lynch assembled around Brock Purdy. I mean, he got Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, McCaffrey behind him. The defensive guys. You got guys. All around. You got what's the guy's name from Ohio State? You got him. Bosa, Nick Bosa, Hargrave. You got Fred Warner and Greenlaw. I mean, you got players. So if your quarterback is not an A plus, he's a B plus, then you put A plus talent around him. That's the way it works. you know. But they're still paying Jared Goff like he's Dak, like he's Patrick Mahomes. Actually, Jared Goff makes more money than Patrick Mahomes. Okay, but Patrick Mahomes, you're getting money on other things. Subway, Head and Shoulders, T-Mobile. Yeah, he getting probably about $50 million on commercials. So he's like, yeah, let me get some good players around me. And I'm good because he good. He good. He got generational wealth. He good. Okay, so that's the thing. Uh, Zimmer has the defense playing. Uh, What are you trying to say, man? I get stoked. Do I get stoked when the Cowboys win? I mean, yeah, I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm supposed to be stoked when they win. Yeah. I'm not trying to say they're the best team in the world, but yeah, I'm a little happier. Like I said, water tastes better when they win. Sleep better when they win. You know, feel better getting up the next day when they win. Yeah, yeah. I'm a little, yeah. A little spunky. I'm gonna say something to the missus tonight. I'm gonna wake her up in a little bit. Yeah, I'm a little, tonight. Yeah, I'm a little, when the Cowboys win, I'm a little stoked. Daggum show am. But I'm gonna get back to my thing, and we're gonna go and close out, man. This is a good win. Let me get to my game balls. And like I was saying, there was some players I thought did some good things tonight. I would have liked to have um, I would have liked to have pulled all that stuff up on that so I can share my screen. But I guess they was tabulating all the stuff on the sites I was looking at. So let me tell you who I thought did well. First of all, Cooper Rush. I gave you his stats. He gets the first game ball on offense because I thought other than that one play, I thought he didn't put the ball in harm's way, and I thought he played a good, solid game. Uh, and I mean, I'm not going to call him out by name, but I thought the offensive line played well too, as well. Because now they didn't run block well, because I mean, you understand what they was up against. I thought Chuma Doga played okay. I think he gave up the one sack that they gave up, and some of the run plays. I thought he got caved in a little bit, but for the most part, the offensive line blocked well. But Cooper Rush was 26 of 35, 292. Took one touchdown, no interceptions. Got sacked one time for 6 yards. 71.3 quarterback rating, a 108.5, 1.3 um, um, quarterback uh, quarterback rating. Not QBR, but what do they call that? I think it's 158.3. I can't think what it's quarterback. I don't know what it is, but that's the stats that they used to do for the quarterbacks. With 158.3, then the QBR you can only get 100. That's the best. Um, I thought Rico Dowdle did okay. He didn't do well running the ball. He was 13 carries for 23 yards, but I thought he blocked his tushy off, man. Because a lot of times, man, he was in there when guys was blitzing, and he stood some guys up and made it where Cooper Rush could stand in there and make his throws, man. So I'm gonna give him a little bit of and give Zeke a little bit too, because he got in there and got that 1 yard touchdown. That's what he's good for that. I would like to see Dowell get that touchdown, because it's gonna be a sad thing the dude have 1,000 yards, only have one touchdown. You got to give him the ball in the red zone. We just got to do that. Okay. And of course now. On as far as receiving, I got to go with CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, 105 yards, including that 52-yarder that set us up at the 1-inch line that set it up for Zeke. He had a couple other throw receptions on the first touchdown of the game. He had like a 28-yarder, I think. So CeeDee Lamb playing tough, man. That shoulder, he come every time he goes on that shoulder, he goes to the sideline. The dude with the Texas Rangers hat on is looking at him and getting him, whatever. He looks like a Texas Ranger to me. And but he ended up with 7 for 105, and I thought he was just, he was the best receiver on the field tonight, both teams. Okay, I think he was the best. He was the best. on the field. So and going back to let's see here. On defense, I want to say it's a bunch of dudes I'm going to put on the defense um, that I think deserve of game balls. Now, I didn't see all of these individual plays, but I do know Nick Vigil is one of them dudes that Mike Zimmer depends on because he's playing because Kendricks didn't play. Kendricks and him played at Minnesota together. You know, Nick Vigil played at Minnesota for some years. Nick Vigil had 10 tackles, 5 solo, uh, had a pass breakup, and a couple of nice plays. But I got to go with Deron Bland. He had the big play, the strip on Rashad White late in the game. He ended up with 8 tackles, 7 solo, a pass defense, and I thought he did some good coverage on Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a dude, man. That's a tough assignment, man. That's a tough assignment, and I thought he took that assignment and handled himself well. I'm gonna go with Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis coming up with that crazy interception on that deep pass. That I thought the guy had it, but he just took his cookies, man. And Jordan Lewis is just one of them. He's just a dog, man. Look, I know Jordan Lewis is one of them dudes that everybody wants to get rid of every year. Man, we'll get rid of Jordan Lewis, get us a real corner, dude. I'm gonna tell you something. If you let me see what Jordan Lewis is. Let me see because I don't want to misspeak here. I don't want to misspeak. Okay. I think I might have shortchanged him there. I always thought Jordan Lewis was like 5'7". He like 5'10", according to this thing, 5'10" and 195 or whatever. In his like 8th season out of Michigan. Okay. Uh, but if I had 10 players on the Cowboys that had the dog that Jordan Lewis have in him, to go up there and like, okay, I know you better than me, but I'm gonna fight you every step. And if you gonna get me, you gonna get me, but I ain't gonna lay down for you. And if you catch it, I'm laying the wood to you. Love that about Jordan Lewis. And yeah, number 2 got a job on here. Long as I'm, I got something to say about it. I don't, but I love me some Jordan Lewis, man. And yeah, he made him some money this year. And then, man, we're gonna have a decision to make. And that's what I was talking about earlier. That's what a GM is supposed to be doing this time of the year. He's supposed to be looking at, okay, we got about 35 guys on 1-year contract. He's one of them. That's a guy I'd like to get back because what he brings is infectious. Because if I can get 10 dudes to think and feel like he do, you got a hell of a defense. Okay, you're gonna have a hell of a defense. So yeah, Jordan Lewis he got 6 tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack. Um, yeah, Jordan Lewis got a sack, pass defense, a quarterback hit, and so I'm gonna go with him. Micah Parsons, although he didn't. Did Micah get a sack? Yes, he did. He got sacked. Micah done had like 7.5 sacks since he got back. He gonna have 10 sacks playing only like 11 games, right? 12 games, right? Okay. And they made a statement tonight that Micah got like 50 sacks. And I'm like, he got half 100 already? I'm like, man, some of the dudes is like well-heeled dudes in the daggum football Hall of Fame just got 100. He got 50. He ain't even got his first contract yet. He's still on his rookie deal. Yeah, Micah is one of them dudes, man. I thought he played well tonight. 5 tackles, four solos. Had a sack. Had a tackle for loss. And they forced a couple of holding calls. Frankly, I think he get held on like maybe half his pass rushes. And then time I see a guy with their hands up under his neck, that's holding, dude. I don't care what you call that, but that's holding. And he just sets the tone. I already said Donovan Wilson, 5 tackles, 2 solo. He had a sack as well, a tackle for loss. So yeah, he had a great game. I thought Malik Hooker made some nice plays. I thought he gave up a couple, but I thought he made some nice ones. That give up that touchdown they gave up to Miller on that. That's one of the reasons I don't like zone coverage. I know sometimes you got to play zone, but sometimes I hate zone coverage because zone coverage depends on communication way too much. Because if you saw the illustration Chris Collinsworth said, you had a wheel route and then you had a like a deep had a like a post route, and both dudes went with the wheel route and let that dude run right down the middle of the field into the end zone. That's zone defense for you. If every guy just get a guy, you just do that. But sometimes, because we know uh Oriarie went down, so you had to end up with Booth, Andrew Booth. And he's not good. He's just not. Okay. And so and I saw that Linval Joseph made a good play I think he got a sack. And Big Boy got a sack. That's always good to get one of our. Mozzie almost got a sack. I saw Mozzie in there making some plays. Okay. Um, so anywho, so those are the guys I thought did some great things today. Like I said, all the teams, all the guys contributed to a great Cowboy win. I didn't mention Ozigazoo. I know he did something because I saw him make some plays. Yeah, here he is up here. I know, and I know I ain't spell his name right in my thing. I know. Yeah, here he is. He had 2 tackles, one solo. He had a couple of, and basically, I know he had some pressures because I know he was up in there several times on Baker when Baker had to tuck tail and run it a couple of times. And that's a guy that's gonna have to get paid too. I think I mentioned that earlier. Him and Chauncey Golston, them dudes that and that's one of the pitfalls to being draft and developed, because you draft so many guys that when you keep them, then they get to the end of their thing. Then you got to make a decision. Do you want to pay them? And then sometimes you end up paying them too much, but then you don't want to start over because now you got to groom the next dude. And every dude you draft not going to be Micah and come out the box ready to play. Sometimes the guys you draft take 2 years to figure it out. And you done groom this guy and you don't want to pay him, and you know what you do? You send him to the next team and he'd be a star player for the next team because you didn't want to pay him. And then you got to go to the next guy and you like starting from scratch. That's why it helps to draft sometime, get a couple of guys from free agent, make a couple of trades here and there, build your team in various ways. You listening, Jerry? So getting to the last of the video, we're getting ready to close the video. What does this game should say to the front office? Now, what I don't want it to say is that, gee, if we'd have just been healthy, we'd have been right in there. No, Jerry. That's not what you should think. What you should think is to say, man, if we'd have just had 3, 4, 5 players in addition to these guys right here, man, we could have did some things. That's what you should say. Man, if I go out in the thing, go get some players. I'm not saying spend the farm on one player. I'm saying maybe get 4 players at the medium market. Maybe a dude in the middle, because we still kind of slackety in the middle because the Bucks was able to run on us to the tune of like 132 yards. They was able to run on us. Teams are still able to run the football on us. We got to address that. You got to invest in getting guys in the middle of the field on defense to stop guys from doing that. The game is won and lost in the middle. Defensive tackle. But we like to invest in the edge rusher. We gotta invest in that. Get you a couple of guys in there, and then draft you one. And then what you should say is, man, put some players around this team. If I put 3 or 4 good free agents and a couple of drafted guys around this team and they play as hard as they played for me tonight, man, look out Detroit, look out Minnesota, look out Philly. We coming. And I believe that. Okay. But if you come from that game and think, man, if we just get our guys healthy, we'll be fine. We'll just go draft for some guys we're going to play. Dude, it's not, because you're going to lose 30, 25, 30 of them free agents. And so that's why you got to make a decision with the Knights, seeing what happens the rest of the season, about who, you think you can build with and who you should let. Okay, let's not throw good money after bad. Okay. So that's what I think about that. So, but anyway, that's what I think. As Jerry's looking at that now, because I know when he has his little I wish he wouldn't go on 105.3 The Fan, because I said I don't think that helps you win. I don't think it helps you do anything, but just makes you feel like you're an important person that has to be listened to. It doesn't help the team at all. But anytime, I think the last time I heard him talk about the team, he said, "Man, yeah, I feel like if we'd have just been healthy, dude. Every time every team gets injured, you think Detroit is not looking at saying, man, dang, we not healthy because they lost David Montgomery. They lost, I think his name is Akey McNeil, one of the defensive lineman tackles, which you need in this league. They lost Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, they lost some guys. They lost I can't think what the guy's name, the linebacker. They lost a couple of guys, the cornerback. I think his name is Mavens. They lost about 5 guys in that Buffalo Bills loss. But I bet you Brad Holmes is on the horn trying to get guys to replace those guys, not looking at practice squad to step up. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, you build your team where it can sustain itself through injuries. Because one thing about the NFL, it's 100% injury probability. It's gonna be injuries. That's one thing about it. It's gonna be injuries. I ain't never seen a team go through a season and all 22 of their starters don't get missed, don't get dinged. Nobody misses a game. You're gonna miss some games. But if you played the game, if you scantily stocked the cupboard, 1 or 2 injuries, now you looking at guys that really shouldn't even be in the NFL is starting in the league. Andrew Booth should not be starting in the NFL, but he played some snaps tonight. He's played some snaps in our game. Probably Amani Awarie shouldn't be starting in the league. Every now and then you can find a guy that's from the practice squad that's been on other teams, like Josh Butler. Josh Butler was playing so well, and he got on the Giants Thanksgiving game, got an ACL. You know, Wanye Thomas, one of our promising safeties, got I think he's got like some sort of meniscus thing going. He might be back towards because he's in a contract year too. But if you scantily stock the cupboards, then when you get an injury, then you scraping the bottom of the trash barrel, putting guys on the team, and then just like what they said tonight, when you see you putting Andrew Booth on the field, you think that the other offensive coordinator don't see that you put this guy out there? Yeah, I'm going after him. Okay, and you've compromised the total integrity of your team when you do that. Get some players, Jerry. Go get some players. Okay, and get some players from free agency. Go spend some money. You're gonna have about $100 million. Go spend that money. Keep the players you need to keep. Go get about 4 or 5 free agents. Let's boogie. Okay. Again, let me check my chats here. Who will win NFC East? I think that's already done, man. I think that's already done. The Eagles gonna win the NFC East. Now, if you're talking about next year, oh man, I like our chances. If Jerry do what he's supposed to do, oh, there's no reason why we can't win the NFC East. No reason we can't win the NFC East. Okay. Cowboys Christmas gift, yes, yeah, that's a good win for going into Christmas. You daggum Skippy. They didn't even have time to wrap that. They didn't even have time to wrap that. 30 years since the last Super Bowl. Yep, it's been 30 years. I old enough to remember it. Front office should have learned football 101 by now. Yes, they should have, but I don't know if any of y'all, and this video is going way longer, but I like this interaction and I like this engagement. So I'm going to continue to do that with you until as I get ready to close it. I want you guys to check out, there's a Jerry Jones documentary that's coming out. They've been leaking like trailers on. I can't remember what the title of it is, but one of the trailers he's heard saying, there's bigger things than winning the game. You want your GM saying that? Because I think that puts everything in a nutshell. There's bigger things than winning the game, really. Would mean like being relevant, like being talked about, like you make sure that contracts are drug out so they can be talked about every day in the news cycle. even though it hurts team chemistry. You don't think that it may have been beneficial to have CD Lamb signed in April or May, seeing as how you paid him the same money that was asked for at that time, and you didn't gain anything by waiting until like the end of August to sign him. You don't think he could have benefited from getting into the training camp with that and got some reps, got your continuity together? Because when you saw them early in the season, their continuity ain't been there. Seemed like they've been trying to get it all season. Okay. So was the extra burn that you got for, is CD gonna sign? CD gonna get signed? What did he say in Twitter? What did he say on this? Was that worth your team not having the continuity they had? Was it worth it? Was the money that you got and the notoriety that you got, was it worth it, Jerry? At the end of the day, that's what you got to ask yourself. And ultimately, I want that Jerry back that I showed y'all in one of my earlier videos, where he says when he first got the Cowboys, when he was about my age, he looked totally different than he looked. That was before the Botox and the and the work that he had done on him. He was like, we must win. And I wished I had time. I'd go pull it up and share that with you, but I've done it before. We must win. We will win. Winning is the name of the game. And so Brian Broaddus also said when Jerry was having his cards cut up and he was more burning money, where the Cowboys are losing $1 million a month, he said he was a better GM because he was desperate. Now he worth 10 and a half, $10.3 billion with the Cowboys. Worth $15 billion, but the Cowboys are worth 10. He ain't taking no chances. I ain't got to, because you know why? Because he ain't losing his job. If he don't, he could lay up. I bet you Brett Veach. I bet you Les Snead. I bet you John Lynch. I bet you Howie Roseman. I bet you them dudes don't have the leisure to take a year off. Let's just see where. No, because any time that they do that, Jeffrey Lurie is firing Howie Roseman. Stan Kroenke is firing Les Snead. What's my man's name? Clark Hunt is firing Brett Veach. Yeah, I know them guys. I know the GMs and the owners. Yeah, I know that. I know them guys. Yeah, them guys. The Ford family will be firing Brad Holmes if they do that. Okay. Oh, we're just going to take a year off. We're not going to participate in free agency. We're going to let guys go. We're just going to kind of fall asleep at the switch and just kind of see what happens. Yeah, they'd be out of a job. But Jerry has no fear of losing his job, and he can just do that, and it's going to be all right because I'm still going to clock, however many $1 billion. Okay. How far are the Commanders going? I don't know. Sometimes youth can be a benefit. Sometimes it's a liability because you don't know what you don't know. But sometimes you good and you just don't know what you don't know. You ain't got enough sense to know that, hey, I'm supposed to be scared or I'm supposed to be apprehensive here. And I think a lot of that depends on what kind of frame of mind the head coach puts them in. So I don't know. The Commanders have kind of been up and down this season. They barely beat the Saints last week because I was really surprised they was able to hang with the Eagles today. But that's a division win, so I wouldn't be surprised if they won a game. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they got put out in the first round because it kind of depends on who they play. Okay, they play the Detroit Lions in the first round. If the Detroit Lions don't get home field, they're getting smoked. Okay, they play the Minnesota Vikings. If they're probably getting smoked. If they play the Rams, depending on where they play them at, they may have a chance, even though I like the Rams. Okay. DC4L. That's right. DC4L. That's right. No, Jerry talking about money and fame. You're right. A real GM, that's what Brian Broaddus was saying. He's going to these combines, he's going on trips or sending somebody on these trips to go to these games where guys are being featured, writing down notes, crunching film. That's what a real GM does. Okay. What he does, he has people to do that, and they just brief him on because he don't know what he's seeing. That's why I don't know. He just because he owns the team, I can put myself in the role that I want to put myself in. Like if I own a restaurant, I ain't got to be able to cook to make myself the head cook, even though I can't cook. I watch cooking on a YouTube video. Now I'm the head cook. I've said many times as I close the video, I think the other owners laugh at Jerry. And I think maybe some of them maybe are inspired by Jerry, but it's like, he's courageous to do that, but I couldn't do it. But I look at it like a rich guy that chose to build his own house. Now, I don't mean go hire a contractor to build it. I mean got out his hammer, his nail gun, his saws, and all this stuff, tape measure, went and bought the bricks and laid the bricks and this sort of thing and laid the foundation and stuff like that when he ain't had no schooling and that sort of thing. And because he has the money to do it, and then the house got foundational problems, roof leaks, uh, the door don't seem to hang just right. But hey, I made it myself. And other guys be like, man, that was courageous. You're able to build your own house, man. God, I wish I had that kind of courage. But I'm just gonna call a contractor to build mine, and let the professional do it. See, I think a lot of the owners, when he's sitting there talking to um, what's the guy's name that owns the Patriots? I think a lot of times he's sitting there and they're like, yeah, man, and they made, because I think that Jerry has made them dudes a lot of money. But I know if you gave them some truth serum, they would say, yeah, Jerry got courage to do that. But look, man, I ain't got the courage to build my team, to try to build it myself. I'd rather let somebody that does that eats, sleep, and what's that, let them do that, and then I can just fire them if they don't do a good job. I still got the power, you know. You know, I just think rich men that got sense don't build their own houses by scratch. They hire contractors to do that. I'm sorry. You hire contractors to build your house. Okay. But I'm not going to get into that. That's its own topic of another day. But look, man, Cowboys get the win. I'm happy about that. Bummed I'm not going to the playoffs. I'm just stoked that we get an opportunity to rip the hearts out the Eagles next week, and I'm gonna look forward to doing that. Look, man, I'm gonna go get some sleep. It's about 12:36. Video's been going on about an hour and 36 minutes. It's supposed to be like a 45-minute video, but I tend to be a little chatty, as Max has said, when the Cowboys win. Can't help it, man. Cowboy fan for 47 years. It's hard, man. It's hard to not, be stoked when we win, even though it's a win that don't really mean or manifest itself in anything long term. But I want to say that we were planting seeds for next year. Okay. And I'm hoping that Dak is also watching the game and saying, look, I like how my team is playing. And maybe he can adjust some of the things that he does. Maybe he can ask McCarthy, since that's his boy and everything, hey, man, kind of taper down the offense in certain areas. Give me a little more motion in certain things, so we get creative a little bit with the offense. Make it a little easy on me, so I ain't got to carry the entire thing. And let's win some games, buddy. Let's win some games. But anyway, man, that's all I got today, man. Cowboys win 26-24. Shout out to Mike Zimmer. Got them boys playing. It was dicey for a minute there. The Detroit game was ugly. The Saints game was ugly. The Baltimore game was ugly, as he was trying to get his guys in and whatever, get guys off. I think Jordan Phillips is back on the Bills. Whatever. But Linval Joseph stuck, and he's playing. So, but anyway, man, as I said before, like, comment, and subscribe to the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you, Cowboys, I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Cowboys win 26-24. Get the dub. And that's on to Philadelphia, on to Lincoln Financial Field. Let's get another dub. Let's show the Eagles we ain't playing. All right. And please hit the like buttons, like I said before. We'll catch you guys on the next video. God bless.